She was leading a fast break down the dais there. Dave chasing her there. Nice going, Dave. Way to go. Many of you know that our first induction banquet was 1987, and our first guest speaker, big shoes to follow, Chris, was none other than Joe Paterno. If you don't believe me, look in the program. It says it. You'll also notice that Joe showed up in a suit, didn't wear a tux, for which he got brutalized for that. Someone forgot to tell him. That came a year, of course, after the second national championship in 1986. And Joe, of course, would have you believe that he solely was responsible for the national championship in 1982 and the national championship in 1986. All the other ones in between, someone else's fault. And if you don't believe it, ask Joe. But I'm here to tell you that's not at all true. Joe was the head coach, but the architect of those teams, and it's been part of Penn State teams for a very long time, of course, was defense. And the architect of the defenses of those national championship teams in particular was our next presenter, Jerry Sandusky. In 1982, he devised a scheme to slow down Herschel Walker. And in 1986, he devised a scheme with the unwanted help of my former partner, George Paterno, God rest his soul. George always had plenty of advice from the coaching staff. But he devised a scheme to totally confuse Vinny Testaverde and the Miami Hurricanes, who were huge favorites that night. Penn State picked off 4 passes, including the Pete Giftopoulos pick in the end zone, which ended the game and resulted in a national championship. Some people have been called, players and coaches, the Secretary of Defense, the Minister of Defense. That title should have gone to Jerry Sandusky. And maybe his greatest achievement had nothing to do with football. His founding of the Second Mile Foundation, which has helped countless thousands of boys get on the straight and narrow path and live productive lives, might be Jerry's shining moment. Here to present Bill Huber, former Penn State defensive coordinator, Jerry Sandusky.
I'm honored to talk about Bill Huber. I didn't know Bill in high school. However, he told us what a great athlete he was. Seriously, he was an outstanding 2-sport athlete. Was a 4-year letterman in football, starting as a tight end, slot back, and linebacker. I can only imagine the dilemma that the Penn State coaches had, having coached here. Looking at Bill, his stubby, short legs and round belly, they had to say there was something more to him than what they saw. But they knew that there were a number of outstanding athletes coming along from Altoona, so this would be a great idea to start a pipeline, and they did. Unfortunately, at that time, our team got Bill Huber and Jerry Sandusky, and the others got the Mike Irwins and the Mike Reeds and the John Ebersols. But looks can be deceiving. Bill is certainly an outstanding athlete. He could play a number of positions. He played tight end, he played linebacker, he played fullback. He actually played some guard, which I know he didn't enjoy very much. But he was a special football player. When I think of Bill Huber as a football player, I think of a very smart football player. He had a knack to get open as a receiver, a good blocking tight end, and in his junior year, he led our team in receptions with 25 receptions for like 347 yards. Our senior year, he had 15 receptions for 197 yards. So he was a special football player at Penn State. And in addition to that, being an outstanding student, he majored in business, actually tried some coaching when he graduated, and went on to become a CPA and be very successful. He was much too smart to be a coach. And there's a lot of people who have come here this evening to honor Bill, and that's a real tribute to him, to a special guy. And I'm privileged to be able to introduce Bill Huber for induction into the Blair County Sports Hall of Fame.